On the day of judgment, Allah will do the judgment against three people first. The first one is the martyr, Shaheed. Allah will tell angels to bring him forward. He will come forward. Allah Ta'ala will make mention of His bounty to the person. I have given you the eyes, hand, wisdom, face, house, car, whatever, so on and so forth. What have you done with it? This person, he'll say, oh Allah, I went in a battlefield. I was fighting for your cause. And not only that, I got killed in the battlefield. Allah Ta'ala will tell the person, you lied. You did so people can call you brave, courageous. People can praise you, elevate your name after you. You wanted to gain some fame in your actions. You didn't do it for me. So Allah Ta'ala will order angel to drag him on his face and cast him in the hellfire. So the first person enter the hellfire is a martyr, Shaheed, who did it for his own sake, just because the corruption is inside the niyyah. The second person, Allah Ta'ala will order him to bring him forward. A person of knowledge, religious knowledge. Allah Ta'ala will make mention of His bounty, His favors upon that person. I have given you the life. I have given you everything. What did you do about it? The person, he will say to Allah Ta'ala, oh Allah, first I learned the knowledge. I was a student, I learned the knowledge. Then, after I learning the knowledge, I was teaching the knowledge. Then I was a reciter. I was reciting your book, the words of Allah. I was reciting the book. Allah Ta'ala will tell him, you learned so people can call you educated person. So and so we should respect him because he is very educated person. And you were reciting the Quran so the people can praise you and say, what a beautiful voice. And this has been the case in many masajid, in many cases. This musalla and the imam here is to praise and elevate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And these days when we recite the Quran, the imam will say, how was it? How was my recitation? How did I do it? It's not about his recitation. It's not about his voice. It's about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're doing it for the sake of Allah. Allah ta'ala will order angels to drag him on his face and cast him inside the hellfire, the second person in the hellfire. The third person, Allah ta'ala will order them to bring him forward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make mention to him His favors upon him. And He'll say, this is the person who used to be very generous in his life. Allah has blessed him with a lot of money. And Allah will ask him, what have you done with the favors I have given you? He said, oh Allah, I was giving charity, I was giving it to the masajid. There was no path that you wanted me to spend and I didn't spend. Any direction I was giving the money. Allah Ta'ala, He will say, you did so people can call you generous. They can praise you and elevate your name. You didn't do it for my sake. You did it for your own sake, for your own fame in the community. So Allah will order angels to drag him down towards the hellfire, and they will cast him in the hellfire, third person in the hellfire. Before I conclude my talk, from the first story, let me ask you a question. How many good deeds they had to offer to Allah Ta'ala for the rock to move away from the entrance? Just one. Each one of them mentioned one deed that was sincerely done for the sake of Allah. Just one deed. And that was sufficient, because once you do something, even if it's small or big, it holds a lot of weight as long the niyyah is correct and the deed is accepted by Allah Ta'ala. The second story, these three people, the one who martyred himself, is that one good action? No, you're losing your life. You went there, you took steps towards the battle. How many good deeds he did, we can't count. Second, who went to gain knowledge. You leave your house, you go every day, you sit with the teacher, you learn, then you teach. It's a jariyah, the continuity of a good action, but Allah is not accepting it. The third, who gave money in many different ways towards the many different organizations, towards the many different family and many different cause, Allah is not accepting it because there is a corruption inside the niyyah. So ibadullah, whatever you do, look into your intention before you make any move towards any action. Make sure we are doing it only for the sake of Allah. I ask Allah wa ta'ala to actually help us do things for the sake of Allah. Allahumma hdina fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt, wa tawallana fi man tawallayt, wa barik lana fi ma atayt.